Conrad Curze, the Night Haunter, is one of the most tragic and terrifying figures in the Warhammer 40k verse. A Primarch of the first founding, he was created by the Emperor of Mankind to lead his Space Marine Legion, the Night Lords, in the Great Crusade. However, unlike his brothers who embodied nobility and heroism, Curze was plagued by prophetic visions of a grim future and possessed a deeply fractured psyche. This darkness ultimately led him down his path of brutality, terror, and ultimately damnation. This deep dive will explore the complex details of Curze's life, his motivations, and his lasting impact that he had on the Imperium and the galaxy. Greetings all, I'm your guide, the Archivist. Today I will dive into an overview of Curze, their rise in power, and their final fate. Before we begin, please make sure to like and subscribe waypoints down below, so that more people can learn from their archives. Born on the perpetually dark and crime-ridden world of Nostromo, Curze's early life was nothing short of a nightmare. The planet inhabitants were trapped in a cycle of poverty, violence and corruption, with gangs ruling the streets and the powerful exploiting the weak. From his earliest years, Curze possessed the ability to see the future, a gift that became a curse. He witnessed the inevitable decay and depravity that plagued Nostromo and, more disturbingly, saw similar horrors awaiting the galaxy at large. Driven by this prophetic burden, Curze took it upon himself to become a vigilante, a figure of terrifying justice. He emerged from the shadows, dispensing brutal punishment to criminals and wrongdoers. His methods were extreme, often involving torture, mutilation, and public displays of grotesque violence. While he initially brought order to Nostromo, it was an order built on fear and maintained through unspeakable acts. He became known as the Night Haunter, a boogeyman that haunted the nightmares of the guilty. The details of Curze's early life are crucial to understanding his later actions. He was shaped by a world devoid of hope, a world where justice could only be achieved through fear and violence. This warped his sense of morality, coupled with the burden of his prophetic visions, formed in the foundation of his tragic downfall. When the Emperor arrived on Nostromo, he recognized the Primarch within the Night Haunter. He saw the potential for Curze to bring order and justice to the galaxy, albeit through unconventional means. Curze was given command of the Night Lords Legion, a group of Space Marines recruited from Nostromo's brutal underclass. Initially, Curze and the Night Lords were instrumental in the Great Crusade. They were ruthlessly efficient at crushing rebellions and bringing recalcitrant worlds into compliance. Their tactics, however, were increasingly brutal. They employed fear as a weapon, using torture, executions, and the desecration of enemy symbols to break the will of resistance. While effective, these methods alienated and raised concerns among some Imperial commanders. Despite his successes, Curze remained haunted by his visions of the future. He saw the corruption and hypocrisy within the Imperium, the potential for its downfall, and the coming of a great darkness. He began to question the Emperor's motives and the true nature of the Great Crusade. He voiced his concerns, but his warnings were often dismissed as the ramblings of a disturbed mind. The details of Curze's interactions with the Emperor and his brothers during the Great Crusade are often overlooked, but they are vital to understanding his descent into madness. He craved acceptance and understanding, but he was often met with disapproval and distrust. This rejection, coupled with the horrors he witnessed and the burden of his visions, further fueled his sense of isolation and paranoia. The growing rift between Curze and the Imperium, coupled with his innate distrust of authority, made him vulnerable to the whispers of chaos. While not overtly seduced by any particular chaos god, Curze embraced the ruinous powers principles for anarchy and destruction. He saw the Horus Heresy as a self-fulfilling prophecy, a confirmation of his darkest visions. The Night Lords joined Horus in rebellion, bringing their campaign of terror to loyalist worlds. They reveled in chaos and destruction, indulging in acts of unspeakable cruelty. Curze saw himself as an agent of truth, exposing the hypocrisy and corruption of the Imperium through the brutal reality of war. However, the heresy only served to further erode Curze's sanity. He became increasingly erratic and unpredictable, his actions driven by a nihilistic desire. by a nihilistic desire to tear down everything he had once believed in. The details of the Night Lord atrocities during the heresy are some of the most disturbing in the Warhammer 40k lore, showcasing the depths of depravity Curze and his legion descended into. After the defeat of Horus and the end of the heresy, the Night Lords were scattered and hunted by the Imperium. Curze, his mind completely fractured, retreated to the shadows, continuing his reign of terror on a smaller scale. He offered no resistance to the Imperium's efforts to capture him, seemingly resigned to his fate. Ultimately, Curze allowed himself to be assassinated by M. Shen, an assassin of the Calidus Temple. He foresaw his own death and even orchestrated the events that led to it. His final words were cryptic, suggesting that he believed he was ultimately right, and that his death served a greater purpose. The details surrounding Curze's death are shrouded in ambiguity. Did he seek justice for his crimes, or did he view his death as a final act of defiance, a way to prove the validity of his nihilistic worldview? Whatever his true motivations, his death marked the end of the Night Haunter, but not the end of his legacy. The Night Haunter's legacy continues to haunt the Imperium in the 41st millennium. The Night Lords, though scattered and fragmented, remain a force of terror in the galaxy. They are known for their brutal acts, their use of fear as a weapon, and their unwavering loyalty to the principles of anarchy and destruction. Curze's example serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked power, the corrupting influence of fear, and the importance of hope in the face of adversity. He represents the darkest aspects of the Imperium, a reminder of the lengths in which he is willing to go to maintain order and control. The details of Curze's life and death continue to fascinate and horrify Warhammer 40,000 fans. He is a complex and tragic figure, a victim of circumstance and a perpetrator of unspeakable acts. His story serves as a chilling reminder of the fragility of the human psyche and the enduring power of darkness. He remains a potent symbol of the grim darkness of the far future, where there is only war, and the shadows of the past continue to shape the present. His tale is a deep and disturbing one, full of detail that paints a picture of a broken soul in a galaxy teetering on the brink of destruction. And so I have now covered the content for this video, but if there's anything that has been missed, please share them in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this content, please remember to like the like and subscribe waypoints down below. In the grim dark of the far future, there is only war.